So I gotta be honest with you guys about something. Um, a lot of like sort of how I feel about that stuff that we were talking about before was just me recognizing and just acknowledging aggressive behavior out of certain types of people, and like it's not intended to offend. It's intended to help you realize that that aggressive behavior is what causes the defense mechanism, for people to want to defend themselves. And I mean, like, the point is, like, it's the same sort of thing that I recognize in a certain political candidate. I've said this before, like, I mean, just like when in the debates, instead of waiting for his turn to talk, he just talked over Hillary and just like had to pace around and be like the man in the room, sort of, and just kind of act like that. And I just really saw that there, and I've seen it in him before. But like, it's the sort of thing where, like, you have to recognize that type of behavior, that type of aggressive behavior. That's why I feel the way I do with all this stuff that's going on with like all these people that just like sort of act like that. They're aggressive, and then like it just turns out that, like, that's all right. So they're voting for him too, and so, like, I just I see a lot of it, and I see it all over the place, and that's just all I see. And that's why I feel the way I do, and why it's upsetting when you recognize it as a pattern of behavior in people, and then you get to a point where, like, you just so much craziness happens where, like, just like what that guy was doing, where it's like really dangerous. And it's like, you know what? Remember a time when, like, people didn't do that. Like, I remember a time when, like, that almost never happened. Why does that happen so much now? And I think it really is that people spend less time doing things that they should be doing. Like everything is condensed now for people. They don't research for very long. They don't spend very long organizing or getting ready or making sure that, you know yeah, and I'm not saying, like, this isn't me too. Like, it's everybody. It's a systemic generational problem. You can't not recognize it as a generational problem at this point, where, like, so much time has gone by where the people in this country haven't experienced war themselves, but they're basically just kind of going around asking for it. And, like, it's I recognize how sort of archaic that is, and barbaric, kind of, and basically just trying desperately to prove and show people exactly how they are being, and not in, again, a way to offend. But I don't, I guess I don't know any other way, because I feel that I'm just being honest and forthright with like, the just how I feel at various times, based on what people do and how they act, and that's it. And again, I get over it, like, it's not like I dwell on it. I do attempt to move on, and then, like, people come back and do it again. More people do it and act like that. And so you have to recognize when, like, when and where it's come from. No, really, 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 truthfully, I would tell you if I see it, from both sides, like the aggressive behavior and stuff. I would really truthfully tell you that if I did. But I don't. I see it coming from the people that vote for him. It's not a political statement. It's not propaganda. I promise you, something I just see and I recognize. It's even just how people talk to me. I get over stuff and move on. And try to get along with everybody. But like time and time again, I'll make friends with somebody new. You know, like that can't handle that. You know what I mean? Like I'll make friends with people that might think that way or vote for him or something like that, and they're not. You know, like the very few that aren't super aggressive and have aggressive behaviors and tendencies and stuff like that. But it's very rare. I really just a lot of the people that I know, that I have known, it's eventually just how they are. And you know, it's the sort of thing where I just kind of tell them how it is, because I feel like I just need to be honest and not wimpy about it. Because isn't that the idea? Isn't that what they claim to be voting for? Not a wimp? So the point is, like, why can't they take it when I'm kind of proving over and over and over that they don't do the research, everything he says is a lie. I mean, like, 80 to 90% of the time they have nothing valuable to back up and say toward their candidate that is correct or valuable or a reason to vote for them, or isn't something that Obama did or Biden did or somebody else that they think, you know, they've been misled to think that Trump did it. I really just see people being brainwashed, truthfully. And it's changing their whole pattern of existing. It really is. It's changing everybody's existence and the way they view things. And this is the point, like, 20 years ago, nobody would be in live chat, you know, typing, like, just like a whole bunch of people typing that, you know, trolling that they're for Russia and stuff like that. Like, it's obviously trolls and stuff, but, like, you would just never see it 20 years ago. Like, people would understand the seriousness of it. They wouldn't joke about something like that. You're like, it's just a different world. And this is not a good one. It's a toxic one around every turn. And there has to be a limit. There has to be a stopping point. There has to be a point at which we put our body upon the gears, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and we make it stop. Except this time we're not talking about what the government is doing to help you and has been trying to do to help you. What a lot of the Dems have been trying to do to help you. They're not terrible people like the Republican propaganda says. It really, really, truthfully is that way. It's not some Democratic propaganda. It's really, really not. I'm not, it's not how I am. I would actually love to see an independent win the election. I wanted Bernie. Bernie on there. I want anybody on there that's not a Republican or a Democrat. But I also understand that, like, you have to be smart, and you have to know that every single election ever, when you look at those by states, until the Electoral College is gone, you are giving your vote to the other person if you vote third party. You have to realize this. And then, like it's not a propaganda thing. This is a fact. Smart people that are smart with political science have figured it out. Essentially, that's all it means, because all you got to do is look at the map, look at the percentages, and those states where it, like, really matters, if you add the percentage from the independent third-party vote and you add it to the guy that could have won the state, almost every single election, you wind up with the other person winning. And so that's why people always say that, because, like, you have to realize that's what they're doing. They are doing that, and so until the Electoral College is gone, that's why people say that, because, again, if you add up all the independent votes, like, it's based on electoral votes each state. So that's why, like, essentially you have a certain amount of electoral votes each state, okay? And the way it works is some states have a lot more than others, okay? And when you look at the percentages of each state and the win, the way it works is when you start to add up all those independent votes in each state, you start to realize, oh crap, every election so far, pretty much, if I add that percentage to that absurdly large number, we're not talking about anything that's even close, guys. We're talking about like 10 to 14% versus the majority. That's nothing. It'd be like, I mean, how do you explain this in numbers to people who clearly don't understand numbers? This is the problem. Now, it's like Asmund said, he's actually really smart. And he's almost always right. But, like, what he's definitely right about was, people do not understand graphs. They really do not understand what a graph is, what it looks like, how to look at it. Well, I guess they know what it is, but they don't know how to look at it, decipher it. They just, and so, like, when people look at percentages and weights and states and stuff like that, they are just not getting it right. Why are we messing with the? There we go. So anyway, that's why they say that, guys. I just wanted to explain that to you to understand, because, like, I feel like people don't really get that, and that's why they're saying that. And it's because it's just the truth of the fact. If you did add it up, so why are you continuing to vote that way? Oh, also, let me remind you of something. Because the Electoral College exists, they can technically just pick whoever they want anyway. The Electoral College needs to be gone. There's no reason for it to exist anymore. The only reason people don't like that and like hearing that is because that means that majority vote wins. Why shouldn't that matter? That's a true democracy, is it not? Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't you want more people to vote? That's every election I've ever had my entire life. Anytime I have ever voted for something, ever, literally, ever. Think about it. Contests, voting, anything you've ever done in your entire life. When was there a system where they didn't pick simply the more votes wins this? Oh, this got more votes. Well, it wins. Wins the award, wins the championship, wins this or that. Yeah. Yet in our election system, that is not the case. You must win more electoral votes than the other person. That's not votes. That's not popular vote. That's not counting votes. That's votes per state. That's how it works. See, people don't get this. This is what people don't understand. You explain it and they're like, duh, 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 duh. So how do you not expect me to not sit here and say that offensive stuff when you clearly don't get it? If you got it, you would immediately understand why this is so important, and there'll be no discrepancy anymore. Like, this is the point. Nobody gets it. Okay? Like, I don't know how to break it down any more than that. So, I mean, it is not that difficult. This is often why it comes down to a couple different states and why people always say that. Right, because states like Pennsylvania have a crap load of electoral votes. That's why. So, Obama won the Electoral College and the popular vote. Right. Donald Trump did not win the popular vote. That's right. He lies. And this is something he says all the time. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. 3 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. More people wanted Hillary Clinton as president. That's right. 3 million more people wanted Hillary Clinton as president than Donald Trump. 3 million. Electoral votes is not popular vote. It's not everybody. Yep, it's a decided number per state. That's it. The popular vote was won by Hillary Clinton by 3 million. It was actually like 3.2, I think, something like that. This is common. Yeah. More people realize she was the smarter pick. More people wanted her. I mean, so therefore, and this is my point, when in any election in your entire life has that ever happened? When do you vote something and the most votes doesn't win it? That's the point. Most votes is supposed to win anything. We have to remember that Trump called the state of Georgia to ask them to stop counting votes. Yeah. Oh, and 2 people leave as soon as I say that. Imagine that. Yeah, like, this is the point, guys. Anytime I make a valid point, people just don't want to hear it. This is the point. Nobody wants to hear valid points. You don't want to accept the fact that he is terrible. You don't want to. It's not that he isn't, because he isn't. He is terrible. It's not that he isn't terrible, because he is. It's that you won't accept it. As soon as I say anything valid, make a really valid point, everybody leaves. Pretty sad. Yeah. This is why we're so stupid in this country. Notice how I said we. Yeah, we should all be smarter. Our education's terrible. This is why, like, people that are, like, in their, like, 50s and 60s, like, in this country, if you notice, this is why they seem a lot smarter. Because their education was that much better. It's true. They didn't have somebody messing it up. Yeah. Yeah, it's gotten really bad. I was actually lucky enough to go to a good school. I had extremely good teachers. I had a good education. A lot of people that I know were not as fortunate. And this is very common. Now that's kind of the point, is I was fortunate enough to have a decent education growing up. I did. And that's why I'm also fortunate enough to know the sheer amount of people that don't. It just... obviously nobody is going to like you if you're, you know, like, if they feel insulted and stuff like that. But, like, this is always my message. I don't mean to continue saying Gordon Ramsay this and that, and involving his name necessarily. It's just that, the point is, like, the point I'd like to make with that is just that, like, it has a lot more to do with people receive things differently, I think. With, alright, so, like, let me just say this. Even people like him, not even just him, it's just that, like, I have such a great respect for him for helping people and stuff like that. But like, you have to realize that he had a pretty rough time with that. Like they fought him, caused problems for him. Some people flat out like it's exactly like what I'm describing, where you're trying so hard to convince people, don't vote this way, don't vote like truthfully, this isn't what you want, and like right up to the point of like, are you actually this much of a fool, you know? And right up to even that point where you feel like, what else is there left to say except you seem like a fool, you know? Because any person in their right mind wouldn't do this, you know? Like, essentially that's where I feel like with this particular subject, it's not like I claim to know every single fact on the face of the planet or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that, like, I haven't done enough research and sat here and followed things my whole life to, you know, not be open-minded to, you know, this or that, and be able to understand things, because, you know, you pay attention. You gotta pay attention. And so the point that I'm making is that even like the people that like somebody like him, you know, helped, you know, like on Kitchen Nightmares or something like that, sometimes they would fight with him too, and they would say, you know, get out, and like yada yada yada, and he would kind of have to, you know, realize that they don't mean it, and have to kind of fight back a little bit, and you know, show them in some way. Okay, how I've shared links, I've reacted to things that I think are good and very informative, to the point. Like I said, with that one journalist that's a content creator and on YouTube as well. I think that his content is very to the point. I don't think it's, I mean, I think most people look at it as very democratic. I don't think that it is. I just think that he's smart and knows what he's talking about. I'm just being honest. I really don't think that that's the point. Is at this point, folks have it wrong. They don't look at things correctly. A lot of these people that folks seem to think are really democratic, they're actually really not. They're really just trying to convince you that Trump is bad. like flat out, if there was any other Republican they could get behind, I think they would. But that's the point. The Republicans are the ones that are pushing these terrible policies and want you to vote for this guy too sometimes. But even they're starting to back off from Trump now, if you remember. So like, that's the point, is there's really not too many Republicans left with integrity either. So like, that's where a lot of folks are, especially these journalists that do this, that know about this, that follow the reports. This is literally their job. So like, they would know. They would know way better than you do. And you know, not the people that work for the news network like Fox, where like essentially weren't they sued for misreporting things and stuff like that? Like, not media outlets that regularly have programs that sit there and talk propaganda against the other person, yada yada. I'm talking about news outlets that report things. People hated CNN for so long and thought CNN was democratic, yada yada, just because they were literally talking about things that Trump was doing, actual things that were bad, every single day. So instead of accepting this, people were like, oh, it's democratic. Like, literally, they're just saying that just as a defense. It's not the case. They were literally just reporting. Trump lied again. Trump lied again. Trump lied again. Trump lied again. Hey, guess what? Trump lied again. Hey, this time 4 times in one day. Like, they're literally just reporting, guys. It wasn't propaganda. Flat out. And this is why it happened, because, like, folks that vote for him just wanted to say, oh, it's propaganda, fake news, yada yada. I promise you, they were just reporting. It's truth. And Fox News got hit several times for misreporting and stuff like that. So this is obviously why he latched onto them and stuff like that. You have to realize that he is not somebody that wants you informed about him. He wants you misinformed about him. That's why he says different things. Everything he says is very vague. He doesn't have any policies. It's going to be big. It's going to be the best. It's going to cover everybody. It's not a policy. It's just a sales pitch. Person running for the president of the United States shouldn't be a salesman. They shouldn't be trying to sell you t-shirts, hats. It's not a football team. It's a campaign. Like, this is the point, guys. Like, you don't see it. You don't see that they're voting for a celebrity. They're his fans. Instead of treating this seriously, you're looking at this like you're his fans. No, they're not. See, this is where you're wrong. They're not all actors. Politicians, not Trump, politicians are paid representatives. They're senators. You're wrong. They are not all actors. Some of them, like, work double shifts. Some of them come in early just to do shit Trump didn't do. Like, you need to realize, like, flat out, these guys represent you. And half of you literally don't give them any feedback. You just hate them all the time. And shit on them. So what do you expect? Yeah, like, start, like, just saying what you want. Try that once in a while. And like, not only that, like, this is the point. Thinking that all politicians are this way or this way, it's just wrong. Like I said, right now, if I could think of any Republicans that I actually like, I would tell you, there's some independents I like. I used to like Republicans. I love John McCain. He was great. I used to like some Republicans, but like flat out, I just like, right now there just isn't that many to choose from. And this is what the propaganda is the Republicans will just say, oh, all the Democrats are bad. And then so, like, a lot of times what you'll hear is just, it sounds good to everybody in the room for people to say, oh, they're all bad, they're all liars, they're all actors, yada yada yada. It makes everybody happy in the room, dismisses it, and people can go away happy. It's just not true, though. It's a dismissive way of not talking about it and letting it go. And you need to not do that, because the point is, people aren't taking it seriously. They're voting for, again, Trump. They're treating him like a celebrity. They're his fans. It shouldn't be a fan base. Kamala doesn't do that. Like, I don't see that with that. I don't see that. I didn't see that with Biden. I didn't see that with Obama at all. Literally at all. I saw people respectfully, responsibly voting and having reasons for it. By the way, I also saw Trump tweet a picture of Obama's inauguration day and try to pass it off as his, because not as many people showed up. Yeah, Obama had the largest inauguration in history. Yeah, it was like overflowing and stuff. So of course Trump posted that. Yeah. He also harassed Obama into showing his birth certificate and proving that he was a U.S. citizen. And then all just to find out that he was. Isn't that messed up? The point was he showed it to who he needed to show it to. He showed the credentials. Like, it's so messed up. This is just how he is. He's aggressive like that. That's what you have to realize. Remember, he went bankrupt 6 times. And people want to use the excuse of supposedly being a businessman to vote for him. And that he helps the economy. He didn't go bankrupt 6 times to help the economy. He's going to hurt the economy. How's a guy that goes bankrupt 6 times how going to help the economy? Clearly doesn't understand finances. Just saying. Anyway, just wanted to get on here and kind of reason with you guys a little bit, just talk a little bit, before I say good night to y'all. But yeah, I just I know you probably don't really like want to necessarily hear politics every time you come in, and that's fine. Like, we're not gonna always do that. Don't worry. I just it's really important to remember that it's not a Democrat or Republican thing anymore. It's not. Our system, our voting system is pretty messed up. And you need to remember that there's a lot of corrupt Republicans. I'm just being honest with you guys. It is not a Democratic viewpoint, I swear to you. Again, I would vote for Republicans if they had somebody I liked. You know, like, that's the point. I want, like, and I would actually support them too, because I support conservatism and stuff like that, but they don't anymore. They're not for that. They're for corporate America now. They're not conservative. It's the other way around. Okay? And honestly, truthfully, it's sort of a stereotype. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a stereotype. Yet it is. I mean, like, these folks are the only folks in history, you know, that flat out, like, they and only folks in history in a civilized, you know, like, after the Civil Rights Act and all that, the only folks in history to like literally think that it was okay to just storm the Capitol and do what they did, like harm people and destroy property. And again, they're the ones, you know, putting the stickers on the gas pumps saying I did that and stuff like that. You know, like the Biden stickers that say I did that, putting at the prices. Like, they're the ones doing stuff like that. This is the point, guys. It's brainwashing. You know that Trump's merchandise team, like, sells those things, the stickers that say that and stuff? Yeah, you know they're responsible for selling those and distributing those. Yeah. And then, so it's like, oh, okay, like, you gotta just realize, like, It's flat out brainwashing. Again, that's the point. Why do you think he sells so many hats and T-shirts and stuff like that? He wants his name everywhere. He wants you to see it everywhere. It's brainwashing. He doesn't have any policy ideas. He just says, "Make America this again. Make America this again." You know, like this is the point. There's no, like, all right, so how are you gonna do that? And then like you'll ask him and he'll like give the most BS nothing response. He'll actually not give you a response. He'll try to not answer it. That's the point. He doesn't answer anything. He just talks about how terrible the Democrats are, even though they're not. It's the other way around. That's the point. That's what he's trying to. That's the point. Everything he says is the opposite. It's everything he says. Literally, just flip it and reverse it, and you have the truth. That's Trump. Everything he says is complete, utter opposite. So, like, if he wants to do, like, let's say he wants to, like, pull out of NATO, you shouldn't do that. It's the opposite. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, he pulls out of NATO, there's a lot of things that are gonna, like, we don't have friends anymore in the rest of the world. Yeah, like Japan, like actually it's more like Europe, but Japan wouldn't like that either. And we need to be friends with people. We export a lot. You have to realize, most people don't realize what we can do to a country during wartime simply because of that. This is the point. This is why you want somebody smart and not somebody like Trump that just says fire and fury. It's so archaic and barbaric and like just somebody that's smarter with military and strategy will just mow him down. Do you think Trump knows anything about military strategy or would listen to his generals? Flat out, the guy calls military people losers and suckers, so we already know what he thinks of service people. Yeah. That should be the end of it, guys. Should have been the end of it so many times. You should never vote for somebody that just, like, so brazenly says things like this. Yeah, like, that's the point. That's his view. That's the way he views military people, apparently. That's what he said. He said that. Yeah. So, you know, the point is, everything he says is the opposite. Military people aren't losers and suckers. They're literally like the best of the best. They're literally putting their lives on the line to protect you and make sure you're safe. Yeah. Anybody that insults somebody that does that is terrible. Yeah, this is just awful. Yeah, it's pretty awful. You should always have the utmost respect for military. Utmost respect. And yet Trump doesn't. You know that because he skipped intelligence briefings and he said he knew all that and stuff like that and he didn't do things he should have done. He unintentionally revealed the faces of some black ops, like some undercover military ops people, by demanding that they take a selfie with him. This is the kind of stuff that like Trump does that's dangerous because he's literally a moron. He is not smart. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. That's what you got to worry about. And again, he like the point was he skips intelligence briefings saying, oh, I already know all that. How would he know top secret information? He's lying. He just didn't want to do it. He wanted to go golfing. You want to talk about vacation? Look at how much vacation time Trump spent, and yeah, look it up versus any other president. This is ridiculous, guys. You have no arguments for him. He's just awful. He's the opposite of everything you want. You want a guy that understands how bad it is at the bottom, so that he helps people. But you also want a guy that is smart with strategy and stuff like that. You don't want it necessarily a businessman. That doesn't even make any sense. And like you're just saying this too. Businessman. No. No. The President of the United States should be looked at as somebody that you want to pick to hire the people that run the country. So remember The Apprentice. Remember how he kept firing people that you wanted. Like, everything that you don't want is now like that's what's on the line. Like, that's the point. And you have to realize that, like, it's not you're picking the guy that hires the people that run the country. He's like, you know, the CEO of the country. He's hiring all these people, okay? That's how you should look at him. Donald Trump went bankrupt 6 times. This isn't something I'm just making up. It's not fake news. Can look this stuff up. And by the way, a lot of you have stuff. I actually saw an ad for this, and this is Trump's doing. This is part of the brainwashing. Trump now has like software that's gonna start tracking and controlling your search results in Google. Yeah, so if it's politically based, you'll see his ridiculous propaganda first. Yeah, he's actually doing that now. And they're paying for this. It's legitimate. They can do this. And this is what's, like, this is so bad. Essentially, yeah, like, I actually saw a real ad for this. I can't believe it's legal. They need to do something about this immediately. I really saw an ad for this, where essentially they're advertising to people that you can get this service, essentially that's going to give you all the best Republican news outlets. Well, why would you want a Republican news outlet? Why wouldn't you just want a news outlet reporting things? You can just look stuff up. Freedom of the press. Freedom of information. Why wouldn't you just look stuff up? Why would you need something to sort it for you so that you see Republican news first? Well, because they want to lie to you. Because remember, freedom of the press. They can choose to tell you the truth, or they can choose to lie. Okay? The people that have chosen to lie, yeah, they get sued. They get hit for misreporting, yada, yada, yada. You ever notice how Facebook has all these things, and all these social media things have all these things to take down misinformation, and Trump got really mad, yada, yada, yada. Like, how many times did you hear about that? And then people were like, oh yeah, Facebook, oh, fact checker, yada yada, and they're like getting mad at Facebook. It's like, no, actually that's kind of a good thing. Like, People are getting really misinformed, posting just whatever on Facebook and like all these other social media platforms where it's complete nonsense, just lies. And yeah, it's nice when a fact checker comes along and says, no, wrong, not information. Yeah, that's their platform. They can do that. They can moderate that if they want to. Um, I just, it's really frustrating seeing that over and 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 over. People just falling for these Republican scams, these scams that mislead you, and Trump's doing it now too. Like obviously that's where he learned it, but like he's just he's doing like he's going crazy with it. So like there's like this ad where he used this speech of Kamala talking about how bad things are because of Trump, and how and like that's the point. Like she was talking about how bad things are because of Trump, because of his tax plan, because that's what's happening right now. Is it still his? I mean, like that's what people don't understand. It's his, like literally his tax plan from his administration, and so like that's what she was talking about essentially is what has happened because of Donald Trump, and he used this little snippet of her talking out of context for his ad to make him look good. She should totally sue him. Like, I think that's ridiculous. And it's just completely misinformation. Completely misinformation. This is lies. She's literally telling you the truth about his tax plan, telling you the truth about what he did to cause a problem, or what he's not doing, I should say. Yeah, he's just using it as his ad to say that she did it, or something like that, to make you think that like it has something to do with Biden or her or something like that. It's a bad ad anyway. Funny thing is, I said it was a really bad ad, and then after I said that, they adjusted the ad. It's still pretty terrible. Close again, it's just a lie. It's out of context. This is all they ever do. Like they don't have anything valuable to say. Like there's this whole story like where she got this guy off and yada yada yada. There are laws in this country for people seeking asylum, sanctuary, yada yada yada. Okay? And it has nothing to do with anything else except a law. Okay? There are times where you need, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but you have to follow that. That's what she did. And then Trump actually takes out an ad that says, Kamala did this and yada yada yada, and she's bad because she did this and yada, and it's like, you mean she did something good to help somebody because was the law? Somebody was trying to mess things up for this guy? Like literally Trump went in there and caused a border crisis. He reinstated this really racist police force that went around and started arresting people randomly that were here legally seeking asylum, because that's the point. They can do that legally. And they just started deporting them, separating families. He caused a border crisis. I've told you guys this. Like, I'm not going to beat my head against the wall about this. This is something I've told you guys a million times. There was never a border crisis until Donald Trump just said there was one. Remember? Billionaire tweeting? Remember what I told you guys about that? The only reason it affected the economy is literally a billionaire tweeting. I told you guys this. What happens when Elon tweets too? Oh, I'm sorry, X's. Sheesh. Sorry, X. I hate that people think that that's a good name. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yep, I don't even call it that because I don't like it. I'd like to meet Elon just to tell him that, and I hope he laughs because I think he would. I think he'd think it's funny. Yeah, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm doing just fine without your suggestions," and then I would laugh. Because that's the point. He doesn't care. He's too smart. He doesn't need to. That's the point. He's not wasting his time. Like, this is the people that come in here and, like, disagree, yada yada, and spend all their time, like, hating on me and stuff. They don't care. They're not, like they don't have anything else better to do. That's the point. Do something productive. I want you to listen to what I'm trying to, the message I'm trying to deliver, and do some research for once. Some non-propaganded research. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get going. Thanks for your support, guys. Again, I want you guys to vote like third party. I do. I do like third party votes. And I support it. But you have to remember that's why Bernie was gonna run Democrat. Even Bernie gets it. You have to realize even Bernie Sanders gets it. He's an independent. You guys know this, right? Bernie Sanders is independent. He's not Democrat. Yeah. Yet he was gonna run Democrat. Yeah. Even Bernie gets it, guys. Okay? Dude is smart. Man, he's been in there a long time. Dude is smart. Please, please, please understand that a lot of what I say comes from, people like him. They've been trying to preach this since the beginning. And it's just gotten worse. And worse. And worse. And worse. I mean, sheesh. Did you not all watch Back to the Future too? Come on. Trump is just Biff, man. That's all he is. Literally Biff. Anyway. Yeah, like that's the point. Even back in '85, they predicted it. That's the point, guys. Like, history repeats itself. We knew it was coming. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate all of you, and yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.